Hi guys, welcome wherever you're watching us from. It's so nice to have you here. My name is Pastor Judy, one of the associate pastors at Mavuno Young and Fearless, and I'm excited to be with you today. So today we're doing something very interesting. We're having a conversation on about 2022, how the year has been, the struggles we've had, what we have faced, and what we're looking forward to into this new year, 2023. And with me here, you can see I have a heart and some pieces of paper. Yeah, I'm not a mad woman. So we'll just be picking out one. These are struggles that some of our teens and young people have shared, what they struggled with in 2022. And we'll just be having a conversation around that. So we'll randomly pick one piece of paper and I'll ask my panel, my friends here, to speak on it. Yeah, it's just basically a conversation on life issues and everything. And would like also to hear your thoughts about the specific topics, what we talk about. Kindly share your thoughts on our comments and subscribe to our channel. So, Pastor Bato, you can hold this for me.
Who wants to be the first one? Benji?
Should I be the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let me go deep.
Okay.
So, number one was losing my phone and losing a loved one.
Oh.
I think we should losing my phone and losing a loved one.
Oh. So those are their struggles.
Yeah, that was the struggle of 2020.
Did they lose both at the same time?
I think it was
I think in the course of the year.
Yeah.
I would guess.
So losing my phone, losing a loved one.
Which one do you want to start with? Losing a phone?
Yeah.
What are some of the struggles that come with losing phones, I guess?
Was it like a prized possession? Was it a gift from someone? Was it like a very expensive phone?
Maybe.
If they wrote it down, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess losing the phone. I think it's all maybe the sentimentality that came with the phone. Maybe it was like you did so much with it. Maybe it was like a gift from someone.
I just think phones are like your friend nowadays, right? It's like
it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, actually. I imagine the loneliness of everyone else on their phones and then you not having a phone. And also if you're like a teenager, then that means you're not able to buy a phone as fast as you would to replace it, which is
maybe it's because they lost the phone and then the parents were like, we're not getting your phone because you lost it. So that'd be unfortunate.
Yeah, that's
probably.
What's the longest you guys have gone without a phone? Never, Amanda.
No, maybe okay.
Must be nice.
How long have I not had a phone? The longest I've not had my phone is maybe 1 week. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. The longest I didn't have my phone was 3 months, but it was by obligation because I went to school.
That doesn't count.
But
Mine is 'cause I'm
I think
responsible.
willingly actually just put my phone away and not use it or not be.
Or not had a phone, not because it was your choice. But
I just didn't have a phone.
Yeah, you just didn't have a phone.
14 years.
Oh, same.
Huh?
14 years.
Oh no,
when
mine
you
was
were younger?
13 years.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
We're counting from the day we got our first phone. If I say it out loud, I'll sound privileged. But I got my first phone, I think, when I was 11 or 12.
Why?
Wow.
Parents,
Wow.
why?
Okay,
What is happening?
I got my first phone when I was 14.
Yeah.
Like a first proper functional phone. Not
I
like a
don't
kabambe.
remember.
It was
A proper functional phone.
Yeah.
That's a
Did you have Did you have smartphones when you were 11?
I think I had my first one when I was 12, 13. But the first phone I got, I don't think it was a smartphone.
And that was 1940.
I got my first one. I was 9. It was so tiny. It was
I can't even laugh at that because I'm older than Ivan. So.
Okay.
But yeah.
So losing my phone and losing a loved one. Losing a loved one.
Losing a loved one is hard. I don't even know what you can say to a person who's lost a loved one that would console them or make the situation easier for them, because people grieve very differently. I just think do what feels right for you. That's what I'd say. Just do what feels. Don't rush yourself to get better. Don't try to look like you're grieving well, as people say. Just do whatever feels right for you. And I think when you respond to what your body and your mind needs, then I think you're healing. You're healing that way. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But it's also kind of tough because there's some situations, because losing a loved one can draw you further away from God or draw you closer. And I feel like some people are so clouded by the emotion in the time and the sadness and the grief that they're experiencing that they completely forget that God is there watching them through all the craziness and all the bad times. But I feel like the best advice I would give someone who is grieving is, believers, we live twice. That's one thing. Like, after here, there's a place that we're going to. And if this person truly loved God and spend that time, because to live is Christ, to die is gain. So if they spend that time trying to live for God, then you're going to see them again. It's not the end. Death is just a detour. It's not.
Yeah. Easier said than done, though. Let's be honest.
True.
Easier said than done. But
you can't really ingest all that information in the moment, because you're like, why did they go? What happened?
Because the biggest struggle for me I had when I lost my parents was the fact that God existed, but yet He still allowed these things to happen. Especially specifically to me twice. So you can grieve with hope, knowing that you will see them again, but you also allow yourself to mourn the fact that you don't have them now. I think it's also okay to take time, take as long as you want to take, and whatever feels right for you.
All right.
Who wants to be?
I'll pick. Okay.
Ooh.
So there's him, there's mental health, there's lesbianism, and there's drugs.
There's what? The first one?
Him.
What does that mean?
Him is basically...
I'm guessing a person that hurt this person.
Him is like your situationship most of the time.
Yeah.
Or your boyfriend,
So
Do you think it's
so
in the
old.
context?
We thought it was an abbreviation.
You're like
Do you think it's the
HIM?
context? Because we're essentially talking about what the struggles that this person had this year.
Yeah.
So is it like getting over this person?
I think maybe it's there's many ways you can look at it. Maybe him was distracting her or him, whatever. Him was distracting her from her studies or from
Her goals.
Yeah, her goals.
Yeah.
And maybe she was too focused on impressing him that she forgot about herself, because you may be like, okay, I really like this dress, but what will he think about it? Will he think about how my stomach looks? Will he be looking at my bum? You'll be
Ever
focused.
you can so relate. Kidding, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Then there's mental health.
I think my specialty.
Yeah, our specialty.
Our specialty.
Yeah.
Mental health.
Yeah, mental health. As I said this so many times, I feel like we live in such a carefully curated world, which is just okay. So social media, especially, I feel like social media is like the major thing that is completely against mental health, especially when it comes to teenagers. Like social media is a carefully curated, unrealistic representation of the human existence, and I feel like so many times, so many people online, their life looks so perfect. But outside they are struggling, really struggling. And mental health, it's such a sensitive topic, especially for teenagers, as it's not talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really
enough.
not. And most people feel like they're obligated to always be happy.
True.
And it's not meant to be like that. It's meant to be everyone has their ups and downs and stuff like that. And I feel like parents need to be more understanding about that topic.
Yeah.
Do you feel like mental health has become a fad though? Something that's it's cool to say that you're struggling
Yeah,
with
like-
mental health.
Yeah, it's become so normalized
people are
that-
oh my
everyone,
gosh,
everyone wants to
I'm so bipolar.
I want to kill myself.
Really, are you being so for real?
It's so unfortunate because people die from this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Depression, anxiety, people commit suicide for these types of things. And when at that point is when I find it so unfortunate because we laughed together, but you struggled on your own.
Yeah.
And then in the end, you died and I was still here. Mental health is so essential. I feel like it's such an important centerpiece when it comes to living life. If you don't take care of yourself mentally, then your life is going to be so incredibly hard to live because you're constantly struggling, where the outside is completely different from the inside. Because on the outside, everything is looking great, but on the inside, it's so hard to live, like you don't want to be there.
Yeah, and even at some point, it will start showing on the outside.
Yeah,
like,
true.
you know, it can even lead to self-harm.
Self-harm, yeah.
It can lead to like the person always looking exhausted, you know, and stuff like that. Some people can start overeating, and some people can start
undereating,
you know. So like, I feel like mental health is something that people need to be educated about it.
But how do you deal with it if you're going through it though? If you don't have the options for therapy?
One thing I always say is, first off, God will never heal what you won't reveal. Talk to someone. Like anyone.
That's
it can be anyone. Like I could basically be like, Amanda, right now I'm really struggling. This and this has happened. I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling in a very, very vulnerable place, and I want to talk to you about it, because I think the ministry of presence, just being somewhere, being there for a person, like having a person there, even physically, you can, like, you know, there's a whole difference of being emotionally available and physically available, because you can have friends who you guys are together, but you feel so alone.
Yeah, like,
you know,
you're an emotional tampon.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
You're a
literally.
therapist
You're
friend.
what, sorry?
You're like an emotional tampon.
So you're soaking up everyone else's emotions, and
Wow.
you're just yeah. So you essentially
also a word that we could use.
Yeah.
Tampon is just
emotional.
doesn't-
Emotional tampon.
sponge doesn't.
I feel like emotional tampon is you're only used when you're needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you. Well,
We're going
I'm
into detail.
I'm sorry. I mean, like,
But just for don't worry.
sorry.
Yeah.
we
That's
opened the
all
door
your
for
fault.
craziness. Might as well just, you know, might as well just be good hosts.
Yeah, for sure, for
So we've left such wait, what's I even talking about?
Oh, mental health.
Yeah, no, emotional tampon.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
emotional tampon. Yeah, so you soaked up everyone else's emotions, but even in your friend group, you're together, but you feel so alone.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that has to be the case. But God will never heal what you won't reveal. You have the one thing I always say, especially if you're going through it in that moment. Why would you, if you know you have people around you that care about you, why would they not want to see you at your best? Like, if they didn't help you at your worst, then they shouldn't deserve you at your best. Like,
Yeah, and I feel like one thing is most people's like, they're like, oh, you're laughing with me, you're so happy. Like, they
Yeah.
don't even bother to ask you how you. And one thing that I personally do is, if you tell me you're good, I'm gonna ask you if you're sure,
are you
because
sure? Yeah.
people just say it's like what? It's like programmed. It's programmed. Like, for people, they're like, oh, okay,
That's
I'm
actually
good.
disobedience if
Yeah.
you think about it.
what is disobedience?
Like saying, yeah, I'm okay, but really you're not.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Lying.
it's a lie. So,
Yeah, but they do. Yeah. And like, I feel like you should look out for the people who, even those people who are always smiling around you, I feel like you need to look out for them. Like, not only people who are, you know, you shouldn't only look out for your friend, like, oh, when they're sad and stuff like that, you know?
I think
'Cause-
through all the craziness, the good and bad times,
Yeah,
you
you
should always
should-
just be there for
yeah.
the people that you love.
'Cause, you
Always
know-
check up on them as well.
Yeah, people like to be there when you're at your best. Like, oh, you remember? Oh, now I like you.
Yeah, now I like you again.
Yeah, now I like you. Now that you're not
all
like
laughs
sad.
and smiles and everything.
You're
now,
so funny.
You're so fun to be around. But
Yeah.
then when you're really going through it is when you feel so abandoned by them. So yeah, look out for the people that you love. Take care of each other. Always talk to someone, because God will never heal what you won't reveal, honestly. So
Whether they look happy or not.
yeah.
Love it.
I think
Then there's lesbianism.
There was
Lesbianism.
let's be honest.
sexuality
Yeah.
in general, right?
Yeah, sexuality.
Sexual
Judy, I'm just gonna
identity.
give you the mic.
Yes, I see what you did there. Wow. I think for me, the first thing that came to my mind was the first struggle was him in terms of a situationship with a guy, and then it's still the
Then
same.
mental health. It's like a sequence.
Yeah, with a lady, with a girl at the same time. That's a lot to deal with. Well, my take on, I think we've done this before and we've talked about the LGBTQ space and struggling with gender identity. And our resolve or our understanding is that God created both male and female, and sometimes we feel like we share feelings or affections towards the opposite sex. There's a place for friendship with the opposite, with the same sex, sorry, in terms of we have girlfriends, we have close lady friends, close guy friends. But I think, or my stand is, when you think that you're struggling with the same, you're feeling romantically attracted to someone of the same sex, is to set boundaries with this person, because ideally is to honor God and honor yourself and preserve and take care of your heart. So if you're struggling with that, with either lesbianism, gayism, and you're in that space, and you want to get out of that struggle, for me is guard your heart and set boundaries with this person that you're feeling romantically attracted to. Yeah. Amanda?
And there's one thing that people do that it genuinely is really sad. Yes, yes, the person is lesbian, yes, the person is gay, but you still have to remember that that's a person.
That's true.
You can't tell them, yo, you're gay, you're going to hell.
Get out. You have no right to condemn them, because you're not God, you see. And one thing is maybe you should for some people, they feel uncomfortable, around people from the LGBTQ. But I feel maybe you should set boundaries with them. Yes.
I don't condone.
Yeah.
I still love you though.
I still love you.
I will love you from a distance. I think,
Wow.
I don't condone what you do. I have my own take on it. I have my stand, but that doesn't mean I won't still love you, because that's what I will do, no matter what happens.
I have a question for you. Would you love your straight friends who are fornicators from a distance as well?
Yes. I feel like, first off, I'm not in a position to judge, because judgment is not mine, essentially.
Yeah.
Because you might have made a mistake, you might have done this and that, but essentially you're not the event. No, the event isn't your identity. The event isn't your identity. What happened is not who you are. I'm not going to slap a label on you because you did something.
Yeah, but ideally, I think probably what Bato would be asking would be habitual, a habitual lifestyle of,
if this is something that you're continuing to do, you're sleeping around, all that stuff.
Yeah.
In that moment, I can help you, but I can't live your life for you.
Yeah.
I can love you from a distance, but as much as you continue to do what you're doing, if I'm trying to give you the advice, I'm trying to tell you to stop, trying to tell you that God loves you more than this, and you're still not wanting to listen, and you still wanted to pursue this lifestyle of sleeping around and fornication and all that stuff, that is entirely your choice. Because I can help you, but I really can't live your life for you. That's the choice that you have to make. Because God's deliverance is always his desire, but it's your decision. It has to be something that you do.
Yeah.
You can't just make that. You can't just expect God to change you, but you've not made that decision to actually invite him.
And you can't
into your
help
life.
someone who then wants to be helped.
Yeah, true.
Okay, I'll tell you this. Maybe the first, the second time, maybe it's, sometimes it's an addiction. But if I see you don't care about what I'm saying, I can't force you. You can't take a donkey to the river and force it to drink that.
You can beat it.
You can beat it, but if it decides not to drink that water, there's nothing you're gonna do about it, So I can't force you to do the right thing, It's your life at the end of the day. Sure. It's you.
At the end of this life, it's you and God.
Yeah, it's you and God, not you and Benji. It's not. Yeah, it's not as Benji used to say, you're not going to be grandfathered into heaven.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to be told
Maybe
so your grandfather used to work at church, get in.
Yeah, you're good.
VIP.
You're fine.
You're VIP.
It's not gonna, that's never gonna be the
That's
case.
not gonna work.
God doesn't have grandkids.
Yeah, Ivan, you've been so quiet.
He's been waiting. He's been waiting for.
I have been waiting. Back to the topic at hand, which was lesbianism.
Yeah.
Judy was talking about how the progression seems like it was sequential, and I like the way this person has put it as him, and then mental health, and then lesbianism.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of the trajectory that most people who struggle with their sexuality go through, where it's something happened, and then for this thing it scarred them so much that they connect that pain to the gender
Yeah.
and just move away from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Then at the end, it goes back to drugs.
Exactly.
after.
So now you see
Yeah.
that. That's
Funny
what
thing
I'm
is that's
saying.
the
That's
next
the
thing.
thing. Like, literally
Yeah.
drugs after,
Literally the
yeah.
next thing.
So yeah, that's just what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
way that this, like this person has said
Yeah.
it really well
Yeah.
in terms
Yeah.
of the progression, because most guys will just say this and not speak about.
Yeah.
The coping mechanism.
Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah, so it's like this person, like for them, I think they really thought about it and put it down, and like this is how it happened. I mean, maybe they're connected, maybe they're not, but now, like as we're seeing, there's definitely something. So I feel like healing is usually the first step. Actually
Yeah.
speaking and then getting
Yeah,
healing
yeah.
is usually the first step, because the hate you might have for this person should not be dictated by the entire gender.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
True.
true.
And
That's
I
so
feel
true.
like that's a stereotype. Like, you know, hey, if there's something, I'm like, all men are the same. I really don't
The
like
thing
that.
is,
thing.
I say, like, if you say all that, if you want to, if you say everyone is trash, you will attract the trash.
Yeah,
Honestly.
and that's you're literally calling it towards yourself.
Yes,
'Cause,
exactly. You're speaking it into
Yeah.
your life. The tongue is
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, it's very-
Honestly,
it's-
it can steer. It's like the rudder. What does the verse say? I don't know. It's in James something. It's like the rudder of a ship. Yeah, the rudder of a ship. Yeah, exactly. It's so small, but it can speak life and death.
Yeah.
You can speak so many crazy things into your life because you thought, oh, you're just saying it as a joke, or it's something that you're dead set mentality on, and that will end up being your reality at the end of it.
And I think my advice to even this person and just young people in general is to not act out every feeling that they have, because sometimes just give it time. Like, be it heartbreak, be it like whatever feelings of attraction towards another person, just give it time. After some time, you get perspective.
But just focus on yourself, guys. Focus on yourself. Love
No,
yourself.
don't focus on you. Focus on God. That's what I
Oh
always
yeah.
say. Yeah.
Focus on God,
Focus on God.
then yourself. Because let me tell you, like, it's not always gonna go well.
That was drugs.
Oh, drugs.
Oh yeah.
I think it's sequential drugs at the end. Substance abuse. I feel like that's such a difficult topic
And
because
it's so broad too. Like, the thing,
it's so vague. Like it can be anything. Like drugs, alcohol, smoking, all that stuff.
I feel like it's a bit vague too, because maybe it's weed as well.
Mm.
That's a part of drugs
Yeah.
too. Other than drugs, I wanted to ask something you had mentioned, that loving from a distance. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, if you see them in the city and they're coming your way, you're like, oh, gay alert. Like, what do you mean by loving them from a distance? Because it sounds like you're seeing them as a different person.
Loving them from a distance, I'd mean that, like, when you need help, I will be there. As in this situation, I will let you live your life the way you want to, because I can't live your life for you. If you want to make the decision, I will come running back and I will help you through every single thing that you might want to be helped in. Like, if you want someone to pray with you, I'm there. If you want someone to help you, like, bring you to church, any of that stuff, I will be there. Because first off, I don't condone, because I have my stance. But I will still love you from a distance. If you need anything, if you like need any sort of help in any way, I'm not going to be like, you're gay. I'm not trying to. No, I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah.
It would be so unfortunate, because that would make me a bad person first. It would make me hypocritical, because I'm judging you by your events.
And you never know, you know,
But
maybe
my problem with that is that discipleship only happens within close proximity. You cannot fully influence or impact a person if you're loving them from a distance. Like, you have to be in close proximity.
Constantly trying to
so that you're
I
able to
understand
speak
that.
into their lives, and they're able to take in what you say as actual, like, you know, like a thing that's coming from love, as opposed to, this is just another Christian trying to judge me, or you know, like, that's why I asked about about whether if you have fornicator friends, you would love them from a distance, because I don't think it's like, you probably wouldn't even know. People just don't talk about their sexual promiscuity. Sorry.
like, bro, I smashed her.
Wait, dap each other up for that stuff.
Sorry,
It's
I have
crazy.
different friends, I guess.
If you hear how some men talk about women, it's genuinely disgusting.
Yeah, true.
It's genuinely disgusting. Like,
Yeah.
some men.
Thank you for saying some, but-
Sorry. Some, you'll just be like, bro, you know what? I need to go home. Like,
Yeah.
it's genuinely like,
Okay.
you know, I smashed her. Yeah? Like, I'm so proud. Like,
They dap each other up for that. You're like,
Yeah,
oh my
like-
God. Like,
Oh, man.
like,
So you said that when they need something, you'll be there. But let's just say you had a birthday. Would you invite your gay friend to that birthday?
yeah, I would.
Or to an special event, your graduation, your university graduation?
Because I wouldn't want to let that define them, because I feel like we're meant for more.
Okay.
In that situation, whatever thing you're going through, no matter if it's whatever sexual preference you have at the time, there's no thing like, you know how
They're
even
still human.
yeah, they're still
End of the
human.
day,
They're still
yeah.
human. There's nothing, like, you know how it says nothing can separate you from the love of God. God has loved me so much, as in through all my bad things, through all the crazy things that I did, he would still allow me to come into his presence no matter what. And we love because God loved us first. So even through all those circumstances, I will still try my best to love this person, even despite the circumstance at that moment.
And I think love them to the extent that even if they don't change, like you love them the best way you knew how till
Yeah.
death.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's not
Yeah.
conditional that like, hey, if you don't
I'm not
change within 3
supporting.
months, if you
Yeah.
don't change within 3 months, I cannot be your friend anymore.
Yeah.
deadline.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
You see, pull the plug on our relationship
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Because, sometimes like people tend to focus on one scene more than the others, and someone will be like, you're gay, and you like looking at the, what is it called, the twig in someone's eye, and you have a whole log, like,
Yeah, exactly.
bro, like, you just lied, and you have the audacity to go and tell him like, you're gay, you're gonna go to hell. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
All sins are the same.
In God's eyes, like, there's no big sin, small sin.
Yeah.
You can't judge yourself or see yourself as better because me, I just lie. You're gay. Like, I just lie.
I just had the Ugandan.